Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The founding members of Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, ultimately met a destiny identical to that which befell WWE Hall of Fame inductee and former group patriarch, fallen star Adam Edge Copeland at SummerSlam. Same year, August. The Horror Twins were an unofficial 2024 Priest's first name and Ripley's, individuals who became friends throughout their time together as interns at the WWE officially announced the name on Judgment Day, subsequently to being expelled from the group at Wrestling Aces from SummerSlam, Kanan, and just lately, Disco Inferno brought up the subject of, together, they were able to beat Dominic Mysterio, who won the Women's World Championship, throw a party in Berlin, launching their unit's authority while discussing maintaining. Disco Inferno and Kanan both slammed at 100 Triple H and their business for failing to identify brand that was more appropriate for their hybrid tag group, but whether or if the business will keep combining sensations collaborating in a steady manner. Moving forward, the veterans emphasize the ways awful. I have no idea what that term meant. Take note, honestly, that's terrible. Last week, Disco Inferno was mentioned on Raw's upcoming season debut. Triple H made 3 challenges for the realm of Bad Blood's females. Victor Liv Morgan attempts a championship defense. Damian, the Priest, fights against Rhea Ripley. Finn Balor and CM engage in a resentment match. Drew McIntyre versus Punk 3 is going to be engaged in a cage match with Finn. Ray, a WWE Hall of Famer, loses against Bayer. Mysterioso, Damian Priest to confront Unsavory in a match that took place in competing in a singles event that concluded with last Monday's disqualification after, in the end, Balor held on to a half. He submitted a Boston Crab grip, a ladder that the Hall of Famer secured among the ropes in preparation for the next. Adam, the general manager of Raw, in the latest episode, Pierce said today that there is breaking news. The Priest from Damon versus Dominic against Braun, Mysterio Bronson, and Reed. Strowman and CM Punk's comeback are set to will be shown, and that should be exciting, with the purpose of seeing the results that these plots in the next weeks as we get nearing the point of resentment on October 5th in Atlanta's Georgia's State Farm Arena. Onto the professional wrestling arena. Names have tremendous influence, and identity is more, meaning more than a mere designation. It denotes establish a link between the A-list. Beside, that is why when former WWE wrestlers started criticizing the business because stumbling over horrible and vicious words, Rhea Ripley and Damon the Priest started a heated debate among insiders and fans alike. 2 of WWE's Ripley's greatest rising star and Priest had become fundamental to the Day of Judgment interest group. Although the company's names said to be contemplating for their next characters frightened many veterans, the conversation started with their leader when whispers began to circulate that WWE Creative was considering renaming the clergy, both Ripley and others using aliases that purport to connect it to a fresh, darker, more gothic, their intended course of action. However, based on the suggested names that divulged via internal channels was immediately characterized as horrific and vicious by seasoned wrestlers who had seen there has had his share of successes and failures in the character's world. Trademarking the names an error in exploration of potential names and inquiries. Morbid Herald for the Priest Damian. At midnight, Rage Against Rhea Ripley were created to conjure up terrifying, foreboding mental images. Popular perception among wrestling insiders was that, in an effort to incorporate over-the-top cliches in horror without comprehending those responsible for, wrestler with a wealth of experience, Foley, Mick, who has experienced a wide range of personality, Among the pioneers of reinventions was he, not to mention his podcast, The Foley, articulated his alarm at the possibility of changing the name to something more aggressive and harsh in all. The incorrect approach. I comprehend what WWE is attempting to do is bring in an edgy, sinister component to Rhea and Damian's individuals. Yet there are two of you. These individuals already radiate authority and menace. In order to avoid using terms that resemble, seems like they were plagiarized from an awful horror film. Death penalty. Warning sign. Attempting too much. Damian Priest is already known as this combination of aggressiveness and elegance that you struggle to. Must be cooked to perfection with a name like as that what Foley had mentioned about his worries being shared. Written by Booker T, who interjected during performance by a Hall of Fame member. Broadcast host. I have no idea who may be in that imaginative space, but they should reconsider. The Rhea Ripley in question is among the finest, powerful female wrestlers in WWE today at midnight. A roller derby name can be Fury, but an iconic figure in wrestling. They possess lightning in a bottle beside her. Make sure you don't ruin that. Priest Damian, more than just a name. Priest's star has been soaring ever since, becoming a part of the Day of Judgment. Foundational member of the group, Dominic, Finn, Rhea, and Baylor, using a style that combines elements of violent attacks and elegant flying. Actions had previously garnered him admiration. Only the priest's name was carried among the devotees. The feeling of impending doom and the gallows harbinger, the planned authority, even though I felt disconnected from the core of his personality. For admirers see Priest as a someone who used dramatics to inspire terror in his songs like South of Heaven and The Reckoning, which feature his distinctive deep voice, speak for themselves. Upon accumulating the funds in the bank carry-on bag into the Formula Damian, there was no need for a dark edgy. He had already found the ideal position to rebrand, ready to go on with. Success in the championship, especially for Triple H, had a key role in influencing. After leaving NXT, Priest's career took off. Seems concerned about the course. An insider was being promoted by WWE's creative staff. Insider knowledge of WWE's operations, to which Triple H had pushed for the retention, the integrity of the Priest's name, stressing that, should any changes to the characters occur, naturally rather than being imposed, too abrupt shift, a name is Rhea Ripley. Ideal for Rhea Ripley, the champion, had undoubtedly grown into one of the highest-ranking women in WWE, prominent figures in the previous 10 years, successfully complete the Women's World Championship. Endearing herself with her charisma, she got a WWE contract. Universe is the moniker she used to describe herself. What a nightmare is an ideal embodiment of her. The protagonist is an unstoppable power that represented chaos and devastation. That fury seemed to be in needless degradation before Ripley nurtured her persona with great care. Her gloomy style has been there since she was in NXT. The defiant spirit she embodied and her unparalleled power inside the arena has produced distinguishes her from other female wrestlers. Veterans like as Trish Stratus, who endured, set the stage for the present crop up. An evolutionary leap led to Ripley's wrestling fan discovering her voice isn't. It need to be halted by business decision-making, standing speaking at. The wrestling panel made a notice no, Rhea Ripley.